Zaki is a professional singer. Traumatized by the sight of death in his home city of Aleppo, he's been sleeping with a knife under his bed. For months now, he sings in a small cafe, not in Beirut, surrounded by his friends. Zaki's friend Hassan fled Syria because of the death threats to his family. He refused to talk on camera. But we met Hassan's friends, business owners who spent each day waiting for tomorrow. They own factories in Aleppo, now robbed and emptied. They keep a happy image in camera.
Okay, when you turn off the camera, we can talk freely.
They're torn with fears and uncertainty. One of them was kidnapped, going back home to see his parents, just 3 days after I filmed them. They say they're stuck in Lebanon, but glad to be alive. On the way back, I met a Syrian man selling roses. He relies on romantics for food, but competition is tough. He's single and hopes to pull through day by day without relying on any aid. But many need to feed their children. They turn to one of the 4 UN registration offices, like this one in Beirut. 2,500 people register with the United Nations Agency for Refugees every day. The total recently surpassed 600,000. More coming, all hoping for help.
What they benefit through the registration appointment from is assistance. So we distribute food vouchers through the World Food Program. We distribute what we call non-food items, meaning hygiene kits, baby kits if families have babies, and other items. They also benefit from secondary healthcare, from primary healthcare, from education, psychosocial support, shelter assistance.
There are no official refugee camps in Lebanon, unlike Turkey or Jordan. These people pay rent for the land they set their tents on. The UN monthly food vouchers are about £17. In this tent, Alexi Boy lives with his grandmother and 13 more relatives. What's most difficult about your life here?
Most difficult. Food and water resources are scarce. Water is polluted.
The Lebanese government doesn't have official numbers. Speaking of 1.2 million people, the real numbers are likely to be much higher. It's hard to track where Syrians are staying. I was taken to an unfinished house in the east of Beirut where 10 families are living. The men were wary of speaking to anyone, like most Syrians I met. They knew my companions, but trust took time. In the end, Arab hospitality gave in, and I was let in the house. These men don't benefit from any aid. Struggling to find work, they're each about £200 in debt, with a family to feed. Do your kids go to school, I asked.
No. They did go to school in Syria, but there are no schools for them here.
There are schools, but they can't afford daily travels. A small boy started crying when he saw a camera. His parents told me later that he thought it was a gun he was threatened with in Syria. The men complained that the rent has gone up. Lebanese are taking advantage, they say. Accommodation has become a battlefield. It's all down to savings. Unable to find flats, more well-off refugees stay in hotels like this one. A minimum price for a suite is about £500 a month. Jobless, they're thinking of a way to make money.
It's not very stable too, so to begin business here, all the area is not stable. So beginning business in Lebanon is not very secure too. But some people, they did this,
Richard opened a bakery shop called Pom d'Amour, meaning toffee apple. He employs fellow Syrians, most illegally, without registering them under Lebanese National Social Security. They sell cakes prepared by special Syrian recipes. The sweets are delicious, but the business is hardly profitable in a tough economic situation. He says it keeps him busy and distracts from negative thoughts. The Lebanese authorities are concerned with the Syrians taking over the market.
They are competing with the Lebanese, and they are opening these shops, these restaurants, these bakeries, these everything. They are driving taxis, and this is the main reason for the tension that now we are having between the Lebanese hosting community and between the Syrian refugees. And we should find a way to diffuse this tension.
Marina is Lebanese. She's also into baking business, but with less investment involved. She makes manaish, a type of regional bread. She's had her business for 5 years, but the sales have gone down this year. She says Syrians have brought poverty to the country. They're taking the jobs of the Lebanese, agreeing to work for less money.
It's wrong. It's wrong. They're pushing the Lebanese to flee our own country.
Hala Naufal has monitored the influx of refugees since 2012. She says it's turned into chaos, exposing many social tensions.
Some Lebanese are saying that the Syrians are taking their jobs. No, Syrians do what Lebanese don't want to do.
Before the war, hundreds of thousands of Syrians were coming to Lebanon as labor migrants. Mahmoud is one of them. Mahmoud has had a regular job in maintenance in the hospitality business for the past 2 years. He used to live on the site, but when his family came over from Syria, he was obliged to rent a room which costs 80% of his monthly wages. 4 children nestle in a dark room with no windows, but he prefers it this way to registering with the United Nations.
Getting registered as a refugee creates problems for me because returning to Syria as a refugee is very different from coming back as a worker. There are still lots of areas you can live in. It's not like the whole country's occupied.
He struggles, but in the climate of rising social anxiety, he feels lucky to have a job. Many Lebanese business owners prefer Lebanese to Syrians. George explains why.
And working with Lebanese or with others, sure with Lebanese better, because the Lebanese, my business is in Lebanon, and the Lebanese, they can accept them easy. But we, the Lebanese, we think we are more intelligent than Syrian. Because we are in Arabic country, we still have, I don't know, we are a little racist.
Growing numbers of Syrians in the country only fuel stereotypes. The Syrians accuse the Lebanese of belittling them and exploiting them. The Lebanese accuse the Syrians of damaging their country with poverty and insecurity.
What can I do? I escaped to be able to feed my children. We ran away. What else can I do? Where should I go?
Everyone looks for a way to survive. Caritas, a Catholic charity, have been assisting people in the field for 2 years. They're reaching out for help.
And look at the people as people, not numbers. People, they have names, they have pain, they have frustrations, they have ambitions, they have children. They have to look into their eyes and say, these people, they are beating, they are alive.
An influx of refugees on such an immense scale would be a potential disaster anywhere. In Lebanon, a country with a poor infrastructure, a delicate sectarian balance and social tensions, the refugee crisis has traumatized the whole country. Zaki, together with over 1 million Syrian refugees, can just hope for a better future. Anna Pavlova for City News International.